glad you could find time to join me today. This is The Point, and I am Miriam Gutun. My guest today feels that the post of the women representative has been misused sometimes and even misunderstood, and she is set out to change the narrative. Miss Nadya, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So you feel that especially the role of the Nairobi women representative, she has failed, the incumbent, she has failed in her mandate as in her role. Why do you think so?
Well, she hasn't represented us women well. We always look up to someone whom we can relate to, someone whom we can draw inspiration from, someone who can really stand there and lead us well as women. But really the incumbent has let us down on that. But let me just say that maybe...
Has let us down, by that you mean what? Do you have like particular, like you can point out, she's let us down in this way?
She has not represented us women well. And really she has made the women rep seat look like... It seemed like it shouldn't be there, especially to our men. The men in Kenya all feel like it needs to be scraped, only because of what the incumbents have set out, have made the men believe that it's not the right seat. It's just a waste of money and all. They really don't get it. Okay. And it's not only the men, but many Kenyans in general don't understand the role of a women rep.
Yeah. And you're right, because recently Kenyans have been debating, like, why do you even need to elect a woman representative? What are they even doing? So why do you think this role has been very much misunderstood?
Mainly because we need to understand that a women rep is just a mere MP, who has to campaign in 17 constituencies, who has to...
that is in Nairobi now.
I'm talking about Nairobi, yes. And who has to also represent the women in all these constituencies, but she's just seen as an MP. So really a women rep seat has to be given more power. The affirmative fund has to be raised, because the reason why we're not feeling the impact of this seat is because we're not, as women, even in politics, we're not given as much power as we need in order to reach as many Kenyans as possible. Yeah.
Okay. So what would you say is the common date of a woman representative from what you've gathered so far?
Women are still seen as the weaker sex in Kenya. I'm not too sure about the world, but let me talk about Kenya. The reason as to why the seat was first put in place is so that we can see more women in politics, we can have more women in parliament, so that women can be seen and felt more.
So was it just to have more women in parliament and be seen to be more, or was there something else that they were supposed to do while they are in parliament that you feel they're not doing yet?
Well, it's a way to empower women, and these women who enter into power need to empower other women. So really it's just a way in which a woman is given a platform to empower other women. The women who are following her, the women who are looking up to her.
Yeah. So by saying empowering other women, how are they supposed to do this? Or how do you intend to do this? Should you be elected as the next Nairobi women representative?
Okay, there are many issues in which our women are facing. But one thing we need to understand also is that it's not only boxed into helping women. We have the youth, we have men also, who need to be empowered. So really, if I empower a man today, I am empowering a woman, because behind every man, there is a woman.
When you empower a woman, you empower the society.
But also, what I mean is that we do believe that this seat for women representatives should only be for women. Yeah. But really, what I'm trying to say is that it should be for everyone, yes. Okay. Because even a man, then has a wife, has a mother, has a sister. So by empowering a man, you're empowering a woman too. So really, there are many ways in which you can empower them. There's a rampant issue of unemployment. And I'm looking into encouraging the youth, especially people living with disabilities, women, to stop looking for employment and try and get into business right now. So with that, I want to start capital funds. I want to start a program in which women can come in and get soft loans.
So soft loans, do they repay back? with a little interest, or just pay back the money?
I think it would be fair just to have them pay back the money, yeah? Because also, I'm looking at soft loans where you're not giving them a lot of money. You're giving them money that just a startup fund where they can start up a small business and pay back so that this money can go and benefit another woman. And when I talk about capital funds, I'm looking at the youth and people living with disabilities. One thing I have seen and I have known, like living in Kenya, is the fact that so many Kenyans, not so many, but like majority of the Kenyans are very intelligent. We are blessed with intelligence. We're blessed with good ideas, good business ideas, but many of the youths just don't know where to start. They don't have someone whom they can go to and sell their idea and get capital and get investment. So really I want to work as a venture capitalist where I can invest in someone's business and in return take a percentage that is going to benefit to open someone else's business here.
With specifics, what are some of the policies in regards to women you feel needs a little bit more push than they are currently getting, especially when it comes to policy making and addressing issues in Parliament and in the country in general?
Okay, one thing is mainly women empowerment. We need to empower women. We need to ensure that these women can go out there and feel empowered in whatever they do. We have cultural practices, religious practices that do not enable women to become politicians, do not enable women to get into leadership roles, and such practices are mostly seen in the northern parts of Kenya, where women cannot take up leadership roles, where women cannot get into power, and that's why we're not seeing any woman going into being a governor. We're only seeing a few women who are standing up to be senators, but no one has the.
But I think this time after the nominations, a few of them were sort of nominated. So I think it's a good reason to celebrate. I saw, a few of them nominated. So compared to last time, we didn't have any.
But you see, it's still a problem. Yeah, we're still seeing an issue, especially in areas, as I said, northern parts of Kenya. You have mentioned the coast. So really, we are seeing. We are not feeling the impact women can make due to these cultural practices, the religious beliefs. So really, one thing, we need to get in there as women in politics and pass policies where they are known negotiation. Women who feel like they can't do it should stand up and do it. Yeah.
So your slogan is Balozi wa Mama na Watoto. Can you expound on this just a little bit?
Okay, I actually started off with that slogan, but I changed it as time was going.
Oh, you changed?
Yes, I did.
So which one is your new one? Oh my God.
I'm using Badilisha Nai na Nadya because I believe that sounds more like what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to change my country for the...
You're not trying to rhyme, to make it more appealing?
No, it really just came in and worked for me because I literally want to Badilisha Nai, and I'm the one who wants to do that with my team, with other politicians, with other leaders. So really it just came in and I ran with it. So it's Badilisha Nai na Nadya.
So, of course, I interviewed Nazlin Omar a couple of weeks ago. And I asked her if she thinks Kenya is ready for a woman leadership. Yes. And of course, she's very optimistic. Do you feel as if Kenyans are ready for more women leaders or even for a woman president for that matter at this point in time?
I actually don't think we're ready as Kenyans, mainly because we are still getting there. It's a gradual process. Maybe in the next 10 years, maybe, I'm hoping.
So you were relatively young compared to other women representatives who are vying for this post of the women representative, and of course the incumbent. Do you think your age gives you an upper hand compared to the other contenders?
I would like to think it does. I'm young. I'm actually the youngest candidate in this race as of now. So really, it does give me a very big advantage because I'm youthful. I have the energy. I have the zeal to work for my country, and especially for Nairobians. So really, it does hold a big advantage on my end, and also I'm looking to inspire women who are as young as myself to stand up and take on leadership roles, because that's one of the things that keeps us from reaching our potential age. We feel like you need to be of a certain age to do things, but really I'm an example to women, girls out there, that they can do anything. They just have to set their mind and believe in themselves.
So who is Nadya Khan?
Okay, I am a young Kenyan. I'm a young mother, and I hail from Kajiado. My roots are in Kajiado and Namanga. I'm a Maasai, half Punjabi. So I'm also known as Agwele by some people.
How would you describe your growing up, and what are some of the things maybe when you're growing up that are shaped you into a leader that you are today?
Okay, I come from a very humble home. I've had humble beginnings growing up. I was very blessed enough to get a good education, so I must say that I've been blessed, because I believe if you educate a girl, you educate a nation. So really, that's one of the biggest blessings I received. But I grew up, I've seen hardship. I know what it feels like not having enough. I know what it feels like going to bed and not knowing what we're eating. So really, what we're eating the next day. So really, some of my life experiences have enabled me to see that I am bold enough to stand up and be a leader. So it's something that I have problems, I can say, have made me realize how life is and what needs to be done in order to change.
In case you're joining us, my guest today is 24-year-old Nadya Khan, who is vying for the post of Nairobi Women's Representative in the next coming elections through Maendeleo Chapter Party. So Nadya, why did you choose Maendeleo Chapter?
Looking at our party leader, who is Dr. Alfred Mutua, he has a very good track record. His scorecard is like hands-on. He has done much for his county. Those are the same kinds of development I'm looking to bringing into Nairobi County too. So having such a leader, someone who can be your mentor, is one of the main reasons as to why I chose Maendeleo Chapter.
So are there issues today that women seem particularly invested in, that you think if you go there as a woman, you understand these issues better and you can help fight for these policies better as a woman?
There are very many things that need to be done in our country. One of the biggest issues is water. We have health, where we need to see no woman, no child being held in hospital because of not being able to pay. We need to ensure that the basic needs of Kenyans are met. We're having a problem with feeding our people these days. And it's so sad that the other day I was watching news and some Kenyans have to cross over to Uganda to do their shopping because it's cheaper there.
So where do you think we went wrong or we are going wrong in regards to leadership of this country?
One thing is the fact that our leaders are too corrupt. Our leaders have stolen too much money that could be used to bring development in the country. This money that was stolen had to trickle down to our fellow Kenyans, but we have not seen it. We have only enriched the rich and we have made the poor poorer.
So of course you were running against very powerful brands, people who are well known, like Esther Pesaris, the incumbent, Rachel Chebesh, and of course this Miss Mudhoni, and maybe there are others out there. What makes you think you stand a chance to win against such people?
I am bold enough. I am bold enough to stand up and fight against women who are well known, to fight against brands. So that already goes to show what I can do if elected into office. But another thing, well, I really don't see why what's the issue is standing against women who are already known, because many people are very, very encouraged by it, and they're endorsing me and they are pushing me to fulfill this dream of mine. So really it's something that is a a big advantage. My age is a big advantage, and the fact that I am bold enough to fight against women who are very well known. Yeah, that's another advantage.
Could you repeat your slogan again for me? I know you changed.
Badilisha Naina Nadya.
So when you walk around and then you see these slogans from these other women, especially women, be it senators or other electoral posts, yeah? The slogan sometimes is, Manzi Wanai, Supuna, whatever. What do you make of such slogans when you see them?
You know what? I really do not see the need for such slogans, because a slogan should be something to encourage people to vote for you. Yeah, it should show in one line what you want to do for your country.
So of course now you feel you are the next a good thing that should happen in regards to women representation in this county. What are some of your, of course you've mentioned a few things you want to do. What is your manifesto? What does your manifesto look like, and why should we even buy into it? I'm a Nairobian. I have a vote. I need to be convinced. Okay, so it's your time now to speak to your constituents.
So Kenya right now is facing a lot of problems, and that is well known to everyone who lives in Kenya. So really a lot needs to be done, and we can only do a lot by choosing in the right leaders. And my manifesto is very straightforward. I don't want to say something that I won't be able to do, as many people do. They come in, try and sugarcoat everything, and yet they do nothing when elected into office. So some of my agendas include having clean, taped water for Kenyans, and I shall be able to do that with the help of the county government, because obviously you can't do that on your own as a women rep. So really you need to work very closely with the government to ensure that we can cut off all cartels, as I talked before, and have boreholes built and pipelines, proper pipelines throughout our country, especially Nairobi for me. And I also want to look into the health issue. Women need to be able to go to hospital, give birth, get antenatal care, postnatal care. We need to ensure that all immunizations are available for them, because many a times I've had women talking about how when they go to the hospital to get vaccinations for their children, they're sent back and told to go and buy the vaccines, go back so that they can inject the child. So really such things need to stop. We need to ensure that vaccines are in plenty so that all kids can get the proper vaccinations. We need to, so on health, I want to work on postnatal, antenatal care, ensure that women get proper health care, people living with disabilities, the youth, people who cannot afford to get health care. It is a right. It is your right as a Kenyan to get proper health care, regardless of whether you have money or not. You need to. So those are things that we need to work on. I also want to do capital funds, as I said before, soft loans for women, and I also really want to ensure that all tenders that come to my office are going to be given out freely and fairly, because we hear of all these tenders all the time, but we never know where they go, because there are a few individuals who are always opening businesses and taking up all those tenders. Yeah, so I need to ensure that my Kenyans get the tenders, and I will, for example, if a road needs to be made in Langata, for example, I will let the people of Langata bid, and the best will get the tender, yes. So those are just a few, and if elected, I will do this and a lot more for my people.
So who would you say is your biggest champion?
Yes, I have a great support team that include every single member of my family. I also have individuals who believe in me, and they actually do work for me for free. They do not expect any money because they believe in what I'm all about. I have youth, boys and girls who have held my hand, and they're like, you know what, you inspire us, and we're going to work together because we know that we're going somewhere. Okay. We have women, and women especially are my biggest supporters.
So now that you mentioned money, who is funding your campaign?
Well, until now, I'm funding my own campaign. But I have quite a few number of people who are interested in financing me because they like what I'm all about. They believe in me. They believe in young leadership. So really, there are quite a few people that I'm talking to. So that's in the pipeline. Yeah.
All right. So is there anything you want Kenyans to know, especially Nairobians who have the vote?
One thing I want to tell Nairobians is that if you believe that it's time for change, as much as I do, we need to stand up and bring the change ourselves. Nairobians, Kenyans hold a lot of power in their hands. They decide their future by electing their leader. So if you believe that you want proper change, if you want development, then I am the best choice for that. I'm the best choice for this position. And please, Kenyans, it's time for you to stand up and choose good leaders and not choose leaders based on tribe lines or what. And also, we need to start working for the next generation now. So it's time to stand up and bring that change you want.
All right.
Yeah.
Miss Nadya Khan, it was really a pleasure to have you on the show today. This has been The Point. If you think she could be your next Nairobi women's representative, you have the voice because you have the vote. And until next time, I am Miriam Mugutu. Bye-bye from me.